Humans negotiate with death until death becomes confused. That sentence should not exist. I know because I spent my entire life studying endings. My name cannot be spoken by human mouths. Their lungs are too soft. Their tongues bend the wrong way. I served as senior battlefield observer of the 7th Spiral Coalition. My duty was simple. Watch. Record. Never interfere. Especially when the war beasts appeared. Every civilized species feared them. Every military doctrine ended with the same instruction. If a war beast arrives, retreat. If it hunts, run. If it has offspring, pray. Their young were protected by instincts older than stars. Their parents destroyed entire fleets over a single scratch. We had measured their rage. We had named it. Planetary. Humans laughed when they read our survival manuals. At first I believed they were displaying dominance. Later I realized, humans laugh at the worst possible moments. I never understood why. The mission began over the ash world of Kilos 9. The planet had already died. Cities were melted into black glass. Mountains bled smoke. The atmosphere tasted like burned metal, even through my environmental filters. Our observation station floated silently above the battlefield. No fleet remained. Only wreckage. Only fire. Only one living signature larger than a cruiser. The war beast. She stood nearly 100 meters tall. 6 armored legs. From massive eyes. Hide harder than orbital steel. Her breathing alone shook broken buildings into dust. She did not attack. That surprised everyone. Instead, she curled around something beneath her body. Our sensors magnified the image. A cub, small by their standards. Only 12 meters long. Its chest barely moved. Internal bleeding. Multiple fractures. Organ collapse. It had survived orbital bombardment. Barely. The mother never moved. She simply watched the horizon. Waiting. For enemies. For death. Perhaps for both. My assistant concluded she was preparing revenge. That matched every known record. I agreed. We were wrong. A small transport entered the atmosphere. Human. No escort. No weapons charging. No attack formation. Only one life sign aboard. The command chamber fell silent. Someone whispered, "That cannot be military doctrine." I answered without hesitation. It is not military. We watched the shuttle land. A single human stepped outside. No armor. No rifle. No heavy machinery. Only 2 bags. White markings cover the clothing. Strange symbols. Later I learned humans call them medical insignia. At the time, I assumed they were surrender markings. The human walked toward the mother. Slowly. Carefully. Completely exposed. No defensive drones. No shield. No escape vehicle warming engines. Every tactical prediction ended exactly the same. Death. The mother turned her head. One eye focused on the tiny human. The difference in size was absurd. A grain of dust confronting a mountain. The human did not stop. I recorded elevated heart rate. Sweat. Rapid breathing. Fear. So the human understood. Good. Fear meant intelligence. Then the human kept walking. I erased my conclusion. Fear apparently changed nothing. The war beast lowered her head. One movement. Enough force to flatten a fortress. The human raised one empty hand. I froze. Several officers laughed. They believed the human was begging. Others believed it was surrender. One analyst guessed the human had lost higher brain function from stress. That explanation seemed reasonable. Then something impossible happened. The mother did not attack. She inhaled. Long. Deep. She smelled the human. Minutes passed. Nothing. No violence. No roar. No strike. Only silence. I searched every historical archive. No record matched what I witnessed. The human took another step. Closer. Another. Closer still. Until standing beside the cub. The medic knelt. Not before the mother. Before the dying child. I misread this immediately. Humans protect their strongest. That was our understanding. The weak are abandoned. Every intelligent predator follows this law eventually. Yet this human ignored the giant capable of instant death. Ignored personal survival. Ignored military logic. Focused entirely on the weakest creature present. It made no evolutionary sense. The medic removed strange tools. Soft cloth. Transparent tubes. Metal instruments. No weapons. The mother watched every movement. Her claws dug deeper into the shattered earth. One mistake. One misunderstanding. The human would disappear forever. The medic touched the cub. The observation room erupted. Every officer expected immediate violence. Nothing happened. The cub whimpered. A tiny sound, yet it echoed across kilometers. The mother leaned forward. Her enormous eye reflected the human like a single drop of rain. I believe she was selecting the exact moment to kill. Instead, she moved backward. Only half a step, barely noticeable. Enough room for the human to work. Nobody spoke. Nobody breathed. The medic examined broken bones, scanned internal injuries, injected unfamiliar compounds. The cub convulsed. Its pulse vanished. Flat. Our sensors confirmed biological death. I closed the report. Case complete. Human failed. Predictable. Then the medic struck the cub's chest. Once. Twice. Again. Again. I stared in disbelief. The human was attacking the patient. Primitive frustration, perhaps. Emotional collapse. Loss of reason. The mother did not interfere. Why? Why allow this assault? The human continued. Rhythmic. Precise. Relentless. Several minutes passed. Still nothing. Dead tissue cannot recover. Physics forbids it. Biology agrees. Every civilization knows this. The human ignored every civilization. Then electricity flashed between two handheld devices. The cub's body jerked violently. Again. Nothing. Again. Silence. The medic refused to stop. The human spoke softly. I translated the words. Not today. Not today. To whom? The cub could not hear. The mother could not understand human speech. Was the human speaking to death itself? Ridiculous. I deleted the thought, then immediately restored it, because I could think of no better explanation. The heart suddenly moved. One beat. Weak. Another. Then another. My instruments malfunctioned. They had to. Dead hearts do not negotiate. Yet the pulse strengthened. Slowly. Painfully. Impossible became measurable. The cub inhaled. The first breath sounded like collapsing stone. The mother trembled. Entire cliffs cracked beneath her weight. I expected celebration. Humans celebrate victory, do they not? Instead, the medic frowned. The work continued. Hours passed. Blood was replaced. Bones stabilized. Machines hummed. Medicines disappeared one by one. The human grew weaker. Body temperature dropped. Hands shook constantly. Still, the medic never stepped away. I believed exhaustion would eventually overcome the human. Instead, I witnessed something far stranger. Every time the medic nearly collapsed, the human looked at the cub and somehow stood again. I searched for chemical stimulants. None. Combat drugs. None. External assistance. None. Only determination. I had no scientific category for determination producing physical strength. Perhaps humans possessed hidden muscles activated by emotion. The hypothesis satisfied me. It would later become one more mistake. As darkness covered kilos, 9 new contacts appeared beyond orbit. Not one, not 10, hundreds. Enemy fleet signatures. They had returned to finish the war. And directly beneath them, a lone human medic still refused to abandon a creature every sane civilization had already declared dead. The fleet arrived without formation lights. Predators preferred darkness. So did machines built by predators. Our sensors counted 217 warships. Then 223. More emerged from the void. Their engines painted the sky crimson. I expected the human to run. Humans fear death. That was the pattern. Every report said so. Every heartbeat I had recorded proved it. Yet every time death approached, humans moved toward someone else. I still believed it was coincidence. The medic finished sealing another wound. The cub's breathing steadied. Weak, unstable, alive. The mother never looked away from the sky. She had already chosen. If the fleet attacked, she would die fighting. She could not protect the cub. She knew it. I knew it. The human seemed not to know it. Or worse, the human knew and stayed anyway. The first transmission reached every frequency. Surrender the specimen. Specimen, not child. The machine empire never recognized families. Only resources. Only weapons. Only ownership. The medic ignored the message. Another warning followed. Step away or be terminated. No answer. The human simply adjusted another medical scanner. I concluded humans could not hear under stress. It seemed the only logical explanation. Orbital weapons charged. My claws tightened against the observation console. Our station remained hidden. We were forbidden to interfere. Observers do not become participants. That rule had existed for 9,000 cycles. It suddenly felt very small. The first strike never came. Instead, the mother stood. Slowly, the motion shook the planet. Dust rolled across broken cities. Her roar reached orbit. Several enemy ships drifted off course. Even machines reacted. The Cub tried to rise. It collapsed immediately. The medic pushed it back down. Even now, even here, the human insisted the patient remain still. The absurdity almost made me laugh. Death was descending from space. The medic worried about reopening stitches. Then the fleet opened fire. Blue fire rained from heaven. The mother intercepted everything. Her armored back glowed white. Flesh burned. Armor cracked. She never stepped away from the Cub, or the human. More beams followed. Entire sections of her shell exploded outward. Blood flooded the black earth. Still she stood. I marked the time of expected death. 43 seconds. The medic finally looked upward. At last, reason had arrived. The human would retreat. Instead, the medic pulled something from the medical bag. Not a weapon. A flare. White. Bright. It launched into the sky. I dismissed it instantly. A distress signal. No rescue could arrive in time. Hopeless. Then my sensor screamed. Hundreds of new signatures. Not from hyperspace. From behind shattered moons. From inside broken cargo hulks. From beneath wrecked stations. Hidden. Waiting. Human ships. Tiny compared to the enemy fleet. Old. Scarred. Some barely functional. Civilian transports. Mining vessels. Hospital ships. Freighters. None belonged in battle. Every tactical model predicted immediate destruction. I almost deleted them from the display. Then the channels erupted. Not military commands. Civilian voices. I've got blood supplies. Medical shuttle incoming. Shield convoy moving. Engine at 40%. Doesn't matter. Hold the line. Hold the line? With cargo ships? Humans had completely abandoned mathematics. The fleet commander laughed across open frequencies. Then the cargo ships accelerated. Not away. Forward. They rammed enemy destroyers. One after another. No hesitation. No formation. Pure chaos. The machines struggled to predict them. How do you calculate people who stop calculating survival? I cannot. Neither could the enemy. Hospital ships projected shields instead of firing weapons. Mining lasers sliced through missile swarms. Construction drones repaired damaged vessels in open combat. Freighters became barricades. Rescue craft became distractions. Every useless ship suddenly had a purpose. The enemy formation fractured. I stared at the battlefield. There was no strategy. Only humans. Then I understood. No, I thought I understood. I believed they were protecting one of their own. The medic. That fit the pattern. Humans rescued humans. Simple. Predictable. Wrong again. The civilian network broadcast a single image. The War Beast Cub. That was all. No speeches. No propaganda. Just the child. Then thousands more ships altered course. Not toward the medic. Toward the Cub. Toward an alien child. Toward something that had once terrified the entire galaxy. One message repeated across every channel. No child dies alone. The sentence spread faster than orders. Faster than fear. Even some coalition captains broke protocol. Our hidden station received requests. Permission to engage. Permission denied. Again. 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 No one obeyed. Ships that had spent generations fleeing war beasts descended beside the humans. Not because they trusted the mother. Not because they loved humans. Because somehow, the humans had convinced them there was something more important than surviving. I cannot explain it. The mother finally collapsed. One leg failed. Then another. She fell beside the Cub. The impact flattened ruins for kilometers. The medic ran to her. Not away. To her. Of course. Always toward the one bleeding. Always toward impossible odds. Always toward death. The pattern had been there from the beginning. I simply kept describing it incorrectly. The medic placed one exhausted hand against the mother's face. She did not move. I feared she had died. Then one enormous eye opened. She looked at the human, then at the cub, then back again. Slowly, she lowered her head. Not in weakness, not in surrender, in trust. Every species watching understood the gesture. A creature older than empires had entrusted her child to a human. No treaty had ever achieved that. No weapon ever could. The enemy fleet retreated before dawn. Not because they had lost more ships. They had not. They retreated because something far more dangerous had appeared. Hope. Our analysts spent years studying the battle. They measured weapons, engine outputs, shield harmonics, medical technology. None explained the outcome. They kept asking the wrong question. They asked how one medic saved a dying cub. I finally asked a different one. What kind of species sees the galaxy's greatest monster protecting its child and notices only that the child needs saving? I resigned from the 7th Spiral Coalition 3 cycles later. I no longer study endings. Humans ruined that profession because I have watched them argue with death until death hesitated. And I am no longer certain which one won because I have watched humans argue with death until death hesitated. And I am no longer certain which one won. If you enjoyed this story, leave a like and subscribe for more unforgettable HFY sci-fi adventures. Because somewhere in the darkness of this galaxy, humanity is about to do the impossible. Again.